day and welcome to Alena Media TV. We are broadcasting from Canada. I am Elsa Abraham, and in this episode we are bringing you a focus on the Horn of Africa, and today's topic is You Don't Belong. Land dispute drives new exodus in Ethiopia's Tigray region. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get our focus today in details. Stay with us. The dusty bushes keep coming, dozens a day. Mattresses, chairs, and baskets piled on top. They stop at schools hurriedly turned into camps. Disurging families who describe fleeing from ethnic Amhara militia in Ethiopia's Tigray region. 4 months after the Ethiopian government declared victory over the rebellious Tigray People's Liberation Front. Tens and thousands of Tigrayans are again being driven from their homes. This time, it is not due to fighting, but to regional forces and militia men from neighboring Amhara seeking to settle a decades-old land dispute. According to witnesses, aid workers and members of the Tigray new administration, Amhara officials say that the disputed lands equal to about a quarter of Tigray were taken during the nearly 3 decades that the TPLF-dominated central government before Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came to power in 2018. Obviously, the land belongs to the Amhara region. Gizachew Mulune, spokesman for the Amhara Regional Administration, told the media. Ababu Negash, a man of 70, said that he fled Adebe, a town in western Tigray, after Amhara officials summoned Tigrayans to meetings in Friday. They said, "You guys don't belong here." Ababu told Reuters in Shire, a town 160 kilometers to the east, to where many from West Tigray are fleeing. They said, "If we stay, they will kill us." This fresh exodus from the west of Tigray risks exacerbating a precarious humanitarian situation in the region, with hundreds of thousands of people already uprooted by fighting. The territorial dispute is also being carefully watched by other regions in Ethiopia's fractious federation, some with their own shimmering border disputes. Fighters from Amhara entered western Tigray in support of federal forces after the TPLF, Tigray's then governing party, attacked military bases there in November. They have remained ever since, and Amhara officials say they have taken back a swath of territory that was historically theirs. Tigrayan officials say that the area has long been home to both ethnic groups and that the region's borders are set by the constitution. Now that fighting has subsided and roads have opened, they say there is a concerted illegal push to drive out Tigrayans. The Reuters News interviewed 42 Tigrayans who described attacks, looting, and threats by the Amhara gunmen. 2 bore scars they said were from shooting. The Western Tigray zone is occupied by the Amhara militias and special forces, and they are forcing the people to leave their homes. Mulu Nega, head of the Tigray's government-appointed administration, told the media in Tigray's capital, Mekelle. He accused Amhara of exploiting Tigray's weaknesses to annex territory. Those who are committing this crime should be held accountable, he said. Asked about the accounts of the violence and intimidation by Amhara fighters, Yapsire Esteti, the administrator of the disputed zone, said that nobody had been threatened and only criminals have been detained. No one was kicking them out. No one was destroying their houses even. Even the houses are still there. They can come back, he said. There is federal police there. There is Amhara special police there. It is awful. It is unlawful here. Reuters was unable to reach the Amhara police, and federal police referred to questions by regional authorities. Now, the big question is, whose land is it? Gizachew said that Amara was now administering the contested territory, reorganizing schools, police, and militia, and providing food and shelter. Tigrayans were welcome to stay, he said, adding that Amara has asked the federal government to rule on the dispute and expected a decision in coming months. He did not respond to questions for comment on the accusations of violence and intimidation by the Amara fighters. The Prime Minister's office referred the media to regional authorities to answer questions about the land dispute and the displacement of the Tigrayans, who made up around 5% of Ethiopia's 110 million people. There was no response from a government task force in Tigray or the military spokesman. In a speech to Parliament on March 23rd, Abiy defended the Amara regional forces for their role in supporting the government against the TPLF. Portraying this force as a looter and conqueror is very wrong, he said. The United Nations has warned of possible war crimes in Tigray. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken also said this month that there have been acts of ethnic cleansing and called for Amara forces to withdraw from Tigray. Ethiopia's government strenuously denies that it has an ethnic agenda. Nothing during or after the end of the main law enforcement operation against the TPLF can be identified as a targeted international ethnic cleansing against anyone in the region. The Foreign Ministry said in a statement following Blinken's remarks that Reuters could not determine how many people have fled west of Tigray. In recent weeks, as families move frequently, many stay with relatives, and some have been displaced several times. Local authorities and the UN Office for the Coordination of Human Rights Affairs, the OCHA, said about 1,000 were reaching Shire every day, with 45,000 coming since the late of February. The Norwegian Refugee Council said between 140,000 to 185,000 came from West Tigray over a 2-week period in March. Now, it's a leave or lose. Tewedros Arega, interim head of the Shire's northwestern zone, said the town was hosting 270,000 displaced people even before the latest influx and did not have enough food or shelter. 4 centers set up to house new arrivals are nearly full. Families cram into classrooms, halls, and half-finished buildings. Other camps under tarpaulins or an open ground. Ababu said she and her family reached Shire at the beginning of March. She fled her farm in November when she said that the Amara regional forces killed civilians in nearby Mai-Kadra after taking the town with federal forces. She said that she spent 3 months in Adebe but was forced to leave at the end of February. The media could not independently verify her account. Communications in Tigray, a mountainous region of about 5 million people, have been patchy since the conflict began, and the region was off limits for most international media. Until this month, Amara officials in Mai-Kadra denied that Tigrayans were attacked there. Although dozens of displaced residents provided similar accounts, people still living in Mai-Kadra told Reuters that the youths, backed by local security forces, stabbed and burgled to death hundreds of people the night before government forces entered the town on November 10th. Ethiopia's state-appointed Human Rights Commission said 2 weeks later that an estimated 600 civilians have been killed. The 42 Tigrayans interviewed by the media as they fled from the west said they were now being evicted en masse. The Amara forces circulated a paper saying, "If you don't leave the area within 2 days, you will lose your lives," said Berhane Tadeli, a priest from the West Tigray village of Rewasa. Then they took all the cattle and everything in the house. Berhane said that he fled to Humera, a town in the disputed zone, but could not stay because Amara gunmen were rounding up people with Tigrayan IDs and imprisoning them. He now lives in a school in Mekelle. 2 other Tigrayans also described as roundups in Humera, and 3 described similar circulars at other locations demanding they leave immediately. Reuters could not independently verify their account. A farmer from Mylomen, a small village in West Tigray, showed Reuters scars on the stomach and the back of his 5-year-old son, Kibram, whom he said was shot when the Ethiopian army arrived on November 9th with its Amara allies. The farmer, who did not want his name published for fear of reprisals, said he took the boy to Gondor Hospital in Amara. When they returned, neighbors told him that Amara gunmen had stolen his 60 cattle and other belongings. He now lives with his family in a Mekelle schoolyard. The media was unable to reach officials on the Malomem for comment on his account and the fighters. Officials of the Gondor hospital said they have received an influx of patients with injuries from violence in early November, but did not give details on specific cases. This is where we end today's episode on the Focus on the Horn of Africa. Please like, share, comment. Go to our description button below and follow the link there just to support by donating GoFundMe or our PayPal link. You can follow that and put in all your details so that you can also donate as well. Thanks for watching.